I'm Scott Trout, CEO of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. We help men deal with the life changes triggered by divorce, such as child custody and property division, among many others. But life changes also occur after divorce. These changes can make parts of your existing court order irrelevant or harder to follow. If you feel a modification to your court orders might be necessary, talk to us at Cordell & Cordell. We're a partner men can count on.
Contact CordellCordell.com, 1065 East Hillsdale Boulevard, Suite 310, Foster City, California, 94404.
Check.
Check.
1, 2.
Check.
Sounds good.
Check.
You're listening to Nearly Informed.
It's happened for the third time in my life. A city that I live in going to the Super Bowl. That's right. LA Rams are now they're headed to Atlanta, to my town, to play the. Well, here's the
just
bad part.
Claiming all kinds of stuff.
I don't care, man.
My town, my team.
This is Nearly Informed. Patrick in today. Brad out. I guess I don't need to say that. You just won't hear him. He's got sick family, man. Brad's family, they like to get sick in a group, and then they like to trade back and forth who's going to keep being sick.
Well,
that's why I'm glad
away from me.
Yeah, exactly.
Sick freaks.
Yeah, man, I'm claiming everybody. I don't care, and I know you probably. Well, I don't know what your opinion is, but I don't feel like bandwagon fan is a bad thing. I think everybody says it like, oh, just the LA bandwagon. I just saw the most hacky. Like, oh, this is a sports bar in L.A., and it's just people sitting in front of a TV like, oh, yay, they won. Here's the thing. You have to have bandwagon fans. That's how you get good.
Well,
that's how, I mean, yeah, of course.
Team's only been here for 2 years. They got their hearts ripped out 20 years ago when the team left.
Right, to St. Louis.
Yeah.
Was it that long ago?
Yeah,
it was before.
Like,
the Rams
there wasn't a football here for football, a professional football here
for like 20 years.
For like 20 years.
Okay, because I remembered being in college and St. Louis had a team. Because Grant Wistrom played for the St. Louis Rams, and I had a neurological psychology professor, Professor Glenn Gampst, who kind of looked like Bill Nye the Science Guy, and talked like him too. He had kind of a very monotone situation going, and he was a monster Grant Wistrom fan. And I made a bet with him.
What did Grant Wistrom even play? Was he quarterback?
Defensive end, dude. Remember the big blonde-haired? He looked
kinda.
Grant Wistrom looked like Booger from Revenge of the Nerds.
Kinda.
He looked exactly like
Booger
him.
from Revenge of the Nerds 2, maybe.
Booger.
Yeah.
So, yes, I am a bandwagon Rams fan. I'm driving the bandwagon.
Yeah, that's
I don't
crazy
care.
because we're Seahawks fans. So I bet
care.
on the Rams because I thought they were going to win, so I was rooting for them this weekend. And I don't know, I want LA to be happy. The problem with it's not that I think that LA. The problem that I have with the LA team isn't LA fans. It's the stadium.
Oh, the stadium's trash.
The stadium is garbage. It is hot.
Every time you've gone to it, you've described it as if it were a life and death situation.
It's terrible. Every time I'm there, I swear it's the last time I'll ever be there.
Question.
Yes.
Is it worse than the old San Diego Chargers stadium? Because you and I went to a game. I flew down. This is actually a pretty funny story. I flew down from Seattle to see, and this is the year that Seattle went to the Super Bowl.
Week 2.
And I flew down on Sunday morning. I flew down. I was going to leave Sunday night. Flew down Sunday morning, and Pat picked me up at LAX. We drove down to San Diego. We went to the game. The game was like 200 degrees.
It was a bush caught on fire, like
burst,
from the Bible,
just
like
combusted.
From the Bible. It was so hot, it was biblical.
And so I just saw this here. How hot was it?
It was.
Just says "whoa burn," so I thought it would be like some sort of burning thing. Whatever.
No,
I just tried a button; it didn't work. Okay, anyways. So here's the funny part, though. I didn't book myself a flight home, so I was looking through my
drive
phone.
home. I remember it was just like heat stroke.
Yeah,
I almost got in a fight with these two old guys. So I was like, "This is your stadium. You guys call yourself fans."
Yeah, that was bad. We were hot and bothered, and we lost.
And the game was like 9-6. It was like 125 on the field.
So here's the thing, though. I think being a bandwagon fan is fun, and maybe I'm only saying that because
you're always winning.
I've moved. Well,
if you're a bandwagon fan for a crappy team, then you're an idiot.
I'm not a bandwagon on cities I haven't lived in. I'm not like I just choose a team. Now that being said,
you're not just like Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah, that being said,
that's me.
I firmly believe the bandwagon is wide open to be a Rams fan right now because everyone can pull together.
We don't even have fans in LA.
Patriot hate. No, I'm just saying Patriot hate.
Sure.
You can root against the Patriots, just like everyone was a Philly fan last year.
That's like being in Star Wars, like watching Star Wars and rooting for like the Sith.
Totally okay.
Yeah,
that is totally fine.
You don't want to do that. You want to root for, the Force.
But here's the funny thing about being a bandwagon fan, I don't mind it. And I feel like I'm blessed and cursed in the same sentence, and I got to figure out how I'm going to break this because I can't do it again. Every time I've started on a radio show in a new city, Seattle in 2015, Seahawks go to the Super Bowl. Boom! But they lose to the Patriots. That was when we threw on the 1 yard line. And
God, do we have to talk about that?
No. Well, I'm using that to get to another thing. The next one, 2017, was the Atlanta Falcons.
Yep.
And I was living in Atlanta.
We went to that Super Bowl.
That was awesome. We went to Houston. And so I feel like I'm okay with bandwagon fans always. I feel like teams get good. You got to get bandwagon fans. The more people are clamoring that you're bandwagon, the better your team's getting. Because people said that about the Seahawks in 2014, 2013, when we got good and went to the Super Bowl. Oh, it's just Seattle bandwagon fans. It's like, yeah, because they were trash for 30 years.
I have a hot take.
All right, fire away.
Okay, here's my hot take on your bandwagon fanness. Every time you've been a bandwagon, every time one of those teams has gone to the Super Bowl, they've gone to the Super Bowl against the Patriots and lost.
I know, that's the curse part. That's the curse part.
Lost to the Patriots. So maybe you shouldn't root for the Rams.
I've seen
the Rams a favor.
I don't know if I shouldn't. I'm going to the Super Bowl. I don't know if I'm going to the game. But I'm going to Atlanta.
We went to those. We went to all those Super Bowls, too.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, my God.
I've seen the Patriots.
I am betting on the Patriots if you go. If you go, I'm betting all Patriots. This is the hot take. Take the Patriots.
Yeah. I have seen the Patriots beat a team that I was rooting for in person. Twice. Been in the stadium.
And heartbreaking losses.
Right.
Two of the worst Super Bowl losses ever. 28-3 botch.
I can't even remember. I can't even tell you which one I think is worse because, the Seattle one happened so fast that I couldn't even process it for a good day or so.
And you could always argue it was a great game.
Yeah.
It was a great game, right down wire to wire.
And we were coming back in that game. Atlanta was just, the wheels fell off, and I was busy at halftime charging my phone thinking about how I'm going to celebrate this redemption victory.
We missed like half the game charging our phones because we were like, we got to be able to document this win.
I was trying to do the responsible thing that you do when you're a member of the media and you're going to document it for all these Atlanta fans.
Charge your phone.
And nobody wanted to see that. Nobody would ever want it. So that's my thing. That's the curse that I have right now. If you have any recommendations, please tweet at Moote Points. Or you go at
Kill
Pat
yourself.
Moot. No, none of those. Don't kill yourselves, okay? No. I want to know what things I can do to ensure that it's not my fault if the Rams lose. Because if the Rams lose to the Patriots, that'll be 3 times I've seen the Patriots beat the team that I was rooting for and had a reason to root for them. Because I didn't really root for the Eagles last year. I mean, I was, but it's not like I was living in Philadelphia. I wasn't living in Philly. I wasn't doing a show there. I wasn't, I'm championing the Rams, the Ram wagon. That's what I'm calling it.
I mean, I think if you really care about the Rams, you should champion the Patriot wagon.
I don't know. I guess we have to. That's up for discussion.
I think that you have to root for the Patriots.
But I don't know. So you think that okay, here's the thing. I feel like I'm a good luck charm up until the last game, and then it's like I
don't care who you root for. Just tell me who it is before you decide, because I need to bet the opposite way. If you take the Patriots, I'll definitely take the Rams.
Well, I mean, that's the thing I got to discuss. I need people to weigh in on that.
Yeah, well, to have them, whatever they decide, just let me know, because I want to be on the winning side.
Currently, I don't have tickets, so maybe that's the thing. Maybe I just need to stay out of the stadium. But I am going back to Atlanta. If you've never been to a city that has a Super Bowl in it, it's
awesome.
Super fun. We had a great time in Houston 2 years ago trying to get into parties. Now that's what it is. I'm trying to angle to get into parties. I'm going to misrepresent myself as a really hard-hitting member of the media corps, so I can go document this epic journey of the Los Angeles Rams versus the Patriots. I mean, the Patriots are easily the most hateable team in the NFL, and it's because they're good. And everyone who's going to hit me with the, well, Brian, you hate them because they're good. Yeah, I do.
Do you think that if they win the Super Bowl, do you think there's any potential chance that Tom Brady retires?
No, because Tom Brady
likes to ruin fun for everyone.
Tom Brady, at this point,
because he hates competition.
I'm not kidding you, Pat. At this point, I firmly believe that if Tom Brady beats the Rams, he's got a personal problem with me.
This is Nearly Informed with Brad and Brian.
It's Nearly Informed. I'm Brian Moote. Brad Nolan's out today. Patrick Moote in.
What up? Yo.
We got a fun show today. Now that we got our Super Bowl stuff out of the way, I'm going to be talking about the Super Bowl all week because I'm excited. I'm excited to go back. Shaq is throwing his funhouse party near my townhouse in Atlanta.
That's fun.
I'll be up in there. And you know what I love more? I was going to go to the Atlanta for the Super Bowl no matter what because, I have a house there. My girlfriend's there. I go there all the time. It's kind of my second hometown right now. But now that the Rams are in it, I have a 100% reason to go other than just being like, oh, I want to be around all the fun. Now it's the Rams are in there, baby. And guess what? They need fans. So I'm driving that. Driving the Ram wagon.
I'm so conflicted about the whole thing because you're just the kiss of death.
I mean,
So,
that very much could be the point.
I just want to bet against you.
I had an interesting situation happen this past weekend in Atlanta. I was visiting my girlfriend. I noticed this about our dog Leo, our golden doodle, Leo. He has some sort of weird fear of farts. Now, I don't know, Pat, if you think about this for a second, but if you have a dog with some weird quirks.
He's not afraid of farts.
No, but this one
If
is...
anything, he gets up in there. He smells them.
You'd think Leo would because he'll eat the crotch out of your underwear.
Yeah.
He'll eat the butt out of your underwear. I mean, he licks his own butt all the time.
What does this say about the farts that he's around?
No. It's not even. He doesn't even allow the smell. And this is what's funny about it. He doesn't even allow the smell of it.
Does he run away?
He just hears it and bolts like he's running from a tsunami.
Maybe he thinks it's funny.
No, he looks scared. Like he runs away, and I was asking Jessica. I go, well, why is he afraid of farts? What did you do to him as a
Must
puppy?
have farted on him.
What did you do to him as a puppy? And here's the other thing. He loves farting on his own. He farts all the time. He's a gassy golden doodle and terrified of farts. It's a weird thing. I can't get to the bottom of it. I need to know why he ducks and covers.
I remember a dog that was afraid of sneezing, and it was because of the noise I think that people would make before they sneeze. They go like, and it sounds like you're about to shout.
So you think he maybe thinks I'm like...
do you go like...
No, I don't make any noise. No, here's the thing. The farts are so casual that sometimes I'll do it, and he'll just run away. Like, I won't even notice I did it, and then he'll bolt off the couch. I'm like, oh, my God, that was a quiet one.
I mean, here's the tricky part about getting into this, is that dogs are idiots. So who knows what his actual reasoning
I don't know, but I want to know.
Behind the running from the fart
is. It's so
is.
interesting to me that he is, it's just the noise, it's not even loud, and he runs. Like, he runs across the room.
They do have sensitive sense of smell. Maybe he's got a really,
It happens too fast for him to know it's going to smell bad.
Very advanced palate.
He clears out of the situation before
he can hear your farts coming.
Does what weird quirks does your dog have that are unexplainable?
I mean, my dog hates other dogs, so I couldn't be any less impressed by them at all. He has been doing this thing lately where when he wants something, he just sits there and stares at me and shakes. Like a little kid, throwing a fit. Like shakes, just quivers. And it could be anything from food to I need to go outside to where that bone that you put on the fridge 3 hours ago or 3 weeks ago that's been sitting up there. I still want it.
I know he does. He does this.
There's a ball under the couch that I can't get to.
He goes. He doesn't bark. Every time your dog barks, it looks like he's shocked at the noise that he made.
It's like he sneezed and didn't see it coming.
It's like he barks and he goes, "Whoa, who did that?" And then he runs away from his own bark.
Yeah, he's afraid of his own sound.
All right, a couple news stories we'll get into in the next couple segments. I don't know. Let's see. We got enough time for this one. I think this one's fascinating. And then in the next segment, I'm going to talk about the rapper Future and our man Russell Wilson and Sierra. And this dude's just, I think he's deep down in love with Russell Wilson. This past weekend, a video and some pictures went viral from a protest in Washington, D.C. There were some kids from Covington Catholic School, and there's someone wearing Make America Great Again hats. They were pro-life. They were easy. Let me get into it. Let me present the story first before you put your opinions in. This has nothing to do with that, dude. So they were there for the pro-life rally that was on Friday, and then on Saturday there was an Indigenous Peoples March rally situation.
It's also women's marches.
Women's march. That's right. That was a big one on Saturday too.
Pro-life rally, you jerks.
Well, I mean, hey, this seemed to be a weekend with a lot of causes having marches and rallies and things. So whatever. So the video surfaced and it looked as if a bunch of white kids were mocking an elderly Native American man named Nathan Phillips, who reportedly is a Vietnam veteran, though now I'm hearing, now there's rumblings in the Twitter universe that maybe that's not the case. Maybe he's not a veteran or something. I don't know. But initially the video came out and it looked like they were surrounding him, mocking him. Now longer video has come out to show that there was somewhat of an altercation going on between these kids from this Catholic school and this group of black men. I can't remember, something Israelites.
They were, what was that? Muslim Israelites or something like that.
Yeah, and
they weren't Muslim.
No, but something Israelites. Yeah. But anyways, they were kind of there were obscenities going back and forth. These kids were just it's an all boys school and they were just out of their minds, hyped up, jumping around like a bunch of idiots.
I mean, I saw it in the kid who's staring down he
looks like a smarmy Jew.
He looks like a serial killer. He has the look of a serial killer on his face, and I wouldn't be surprised if he is. That kid, and then
don't say that.
Seriously, he came out afterwards and completely justified all of it, like, we felt threatened, and so that's why you were standing in the guy's face, was because you felt threatened.
The whole thing,
give me a break.
The whole thing reeked.
You're just a bad kid.
The whole thing,
you're naughty.
I don't. Let's not go that far. Okay, I don't know this kid at all. I know that now people went to Covington Catholic High School and were.
Why are they taking kids to a pro-life
Hold on,
march?
because they're a Catholic school and they're pro-life, and they probably were using it as like a. I mean, if your values of your school are pro-life, you're going to look at that as one hell of a field trip, right?
I feel like, I feel like that having school values of pro-life should be outside the scope of what schools.
But it's a private school. They
no,
can
I
do
know,
whatever
so
the
they
hell
can do whatever they
to.
want. Well, if for a private school, they have pretty bad chaperones, because I watched what they were letting.
I was about to get into that. That they were left unsupervised for the most part, and that whole scene, when I watched the longer video where the dudes are kind of yelling at them,
they're saying
racial
some
slurs and stuff,
messed up stuff.
I'm looking at it going, where the hell is the adult who steps in and says, "Hey, what in the blazing F are we doing here?
Why don't we get this group of really rambunctious boys away from this?"
Right, and there's young ones, and the video. There's two things I took out of it. One, I do think that right now, currently in our political climate, on both sides of any issue, there is a lack of respect. And I think the lack of respect starts at the top.
It's not true. These people are just idiots.
Trickles all the way down,
fools.
Because listen, the same day, I also saw a video of two I don't even say, just liberal, anti-Trump folk, young, were twerking on an old man who was holding a Trump sign and slapping it out of his hand, like being obnoxious.
Yeah.
Like, there's no room for that. I don't care.
Well,
I don't care who you are. Like, don't disrespect an old man on video of any cause because you think it's funny and going to trend. But like, you're a douche.
Do we wonder where? Because this behavior comes from the top.
That's what I said. I said that we've developed a climate where we're apologizing is for pansy asses. You double down.
Nobody's ever wrong.
Everyone's got their side. Like, now I feel like we go to these protests and these rallies and things, and everyone's prepared for war. Like, it's going to be some fight, and it's so confrontational. The thing that on that video that really bothered me was the level of contentiousness between groups of people that don't even know each other.
Yeah,
they don't even know. There was no conversation. It was like people yelling slurs at each other, and then the group around the Native American man playing the drum. That just looked insanely awkward.
That scared me.
It looked weird.
Like, made me really uncomfortable. Every time I see those images of that kid staring at him like that, I'm like, why? Where is this coming from? Like, and you don't have to question it. You know where the disrespect is coming from. It's coming from Trump. It is. He calls Elizabeth Warren Pocahontas over and over and over.
But from Trump, it's different. In my opinion,
these kids have no reason to not like Native Americans. Like, what real reason do the Catholic kids from Virginia have against Native Americans? But I don't think that they
necessarily do. Here's what I'm going to get at right here. Here's my point. That Trump's methodology is it's a decision. It's a strategy. It was a strategy developed by the folks who helped him develop his campaign.
Roger Stone, baby.
Right. So what he does is a decision. It's a decision to be unapologetic. It's
part of a calculated manipulation.
Now, what I'm saying is bothers me in that video, and this has nothing to do with political sides. Sure. Nothing. What it is you look at a group of people who are all just like well, you're coming at me, I'm coming at you.
Yeah.
And no one's even discussing an issue.
What was crazy, too, was that, like, it went from, okay, so this group is saying terrible things to the group of kids, getting them kind of fired up, putting them on edge, making them feel threatened.
Right.
And then they kind of go after and circle around a group of nonviolent, like...
Well, hold on.
Native American elders playing a drum and singing.
Okay, hold on. I think it's unfair to say that they were circling when really it was just everyone mashed up in a big ball. But also, these kids have nowhere else to go. And I will liken it to this. There was a level of groupthink that I will say was more pervasive amongst the younger boys in that picture than versus the folks with the Indigenous Peoples March. Because remember, like, a fight would break out in high school? Everyone circles around. Everyone's just staring there, watching and lingering and being obnoxious and cheering. You're not even thinking. You're just there because you're part of a group. So what I would say is, one thing I took away from that is that I don't think a lot of those kids even knew what in the hell they were on for or against or whatever. They're just waiting at the Lincoln Memorial or to leave. But the other thing, too, is that they had no awareness. And if I were their parents, one, I'd be livid if that's how they actually act when I'm not around.
Sure.
You know, I do think there was a lot of deferred group responsibility where people are just kind of in there not understanding the gravity of their presence in that moment and how everyone was feeling, you know, hyper aware and scared. But also, if I'm your parent, hey, guys, you really got to pull your heads out and understand that people are filming everything.
Yeah.
Right? Because that story went viral before we had any context, and it doesn't matter. A lot of those kids are forever going to be part of that group. The Covington crazies who are out there, you know, like screaming and yelling and intimidating people. It's like, you got to have your head, like, I don't care. Like, youth doesn't explain it anymore.
Who was standing in his face staring at him is like, you're watching that if you're his parents, like, I had to have done better than this. But it sounds like his parents were justifying it for him because he came back with a written statement that was like, he felt threatened.
Well, no.
And it's
they're making the decision to defend him at all costs because there's been a lot of aggressive people going after them, like, they should be banned from whatever college, they should be expelled. So if you're a parent, it's a fine line. Now, granted, I think a lot of the things that even the mother said to defend him got taken out of context. It was black radical Muslims but then if you watch the whole video, there was definitely a lot going on there.
There's some radical behavior.
It was a lot of people hyped up, and at the end of it, the whole thing, it's like, where in the hell were the chaperones?
I mean...
And why are you guys there? And also, you can disagree with this if you want to, but when you decide to wear a hat of any kind with a political statement on it, you're going to have to...
You're in the mix.
You're like, I saw someone say, man, you're looking for smoke, you're going to find it.
Find Nearly Informed on Instagram and Twitter @NearlyInformed.
It's Nearly Informed. I'm Brian Moote, Patrick Moote, hanging out. And I don't want people to think that I'm like you can wear whatever hat you want to. Make America Great Again. You could wear a Hillary Clinton hat. You could wear a Kamala Harris hat. Is it Kamala or Kamala? Kamala? Kamala Harris?
Yeah.
I've heard it pronounced both ways.
I think it'll be pronounced both ways until we hear her say it.
Yeah,
but it's not often you hear someone say their own name unless they're Donald Trump.
I mean, he's a hell of a brander. No, I don't want anyone to think that I'm like, if you're wearing like a politically charged hat that you're asking for, but in certain regards, if you're wearing a hat with a statement on it, you're wearing that hat to make a statement, and when that statement is made and people want to make a statement back, don't be surprised. Now, that does not justify any sort of like aggression or violence or disrespect, but you are making a statement.
Yeah. No, I think if you're wearing a politically charged hat, you're asking to talk about it.
It's like, hey,
you're screaming for it.
Ask me about my hat.
I know. It would be like if I didn't want to talk about my hemorrhoids, but I wore a shirt that said, ask me about my hemorrhoids.
Pat, who doesn't want to talk about your hemorrhoids?
Everybody wants to talk about my hemorrhoids, Brian.
Speaking of hemorrhoids, let's get a quick update on you. Did you walk down here today? Did you walk?
No, I didn't. I was going to, but then I got a healthy lunch instead and took an Uber.
You bum! You were supposed to work. You're supposed to work on your walking of the LA Marathon.
I already walked like 2 miles. We have to talk about that because I don't think my doctor's going to let me walk a whole marathon.
Well, let's talk about it.
Well, I don't think my doctor's going to let me walk a whole marathon.
I mean, that's how radio works, Pat. You say, let's talk. We're going to have to talk about that. Why don't we talk about it? Well, exactly what I just said.
That's exactly what I just said.
What is your doctor's issue with
He just said it's too soon. He's run the LA Marathon a bunch of times before and said that we could start halfway and do halfway. He said that they offer that for charity a lot.
I mean, we haven't.
But he
even-
was like, walking half is probably fine. He was just like, it's just such a long day of it. He's like, I would be concerned about how your body responds to it. Because it, like, chemo breaks down your bones, it breaks down your muscles. Like,
So he just thinks that much repetition. I don't know anything about it.
I think he
so-
just thinks that much repetition is going to be bad on my feet, my hips, my knees. Like,
Well,
all
I mean,
that
yeah,
stuff.
of course, but
Yeah,
26.2 miles is bad on healthy people's stuff.
Well, sure, but I mean, it's more bad on non-healthy people's stuff.
Well,
is
yeah,
what he's
sure.
saying.
I mean, so you got like
Brian's
5
pushing
weeks.
for it. Brian still wants.
No,
me to
I just
do it.
don't. I feel like you should just walk as long as you can walk, and then you stop walking.
Well, I think the concern is that I'll push myself too far, and I actually am concerned about that. Like,
All right,
I
so
would
what do you
push
get? So
myself
then, what's your plan going to be?
to try and start at halfway and walk half of it.
Okay, you just
Yeah.
got to find out the halfway mark.
I just have to find out the halfway mark, and I have to talk to him and make sure that, because I'd like to do it on the books, official, not like,
well, I'm there. You can do whatever you want to,
yeah.
as long as you have your number.
Well, can you just jump in at halfway? I don't think they'll let you.
You're not jumping in. We have to start walking way before. Like, we have to start walking at the same time people start running the race.
Not if we do it the half. Start at halfway, right?
Yeah,
when
yeah.
they
No,
start
no.
at the
It'll
beginning.
take us 4 hours.
4 hours.
And that's when people will be. So you'll be crossing the finish line at the same time people who are
Yeah.
in decent shape are crossing.
Yeah, people who started running like hours after us.
No, hours at the same time.
Oh, yeah, at the same time.
So if the race starts at 6:30 in the morning, that means we have to start at 6:30 in the morning at mile 13.1.
Yeah.
So like at the halfway point, they'll tell you they have a big marker. Halfway. We just
Yeah,
gotta go.
and we can celebrate like we made it that far.
Well, no, the genius is no one will actually be on that part of the race course.
I
yet.
know.
So it's not like anyone's going to notice.
We won't see anybody until.
People are,
Hour
though,
and a half
we're
in.
going to have about 4 miles before anyone catches up with us where people are going to think that we were the front runners.
Front runners. Now
and
we're
then, like,
walking.
and we pulled up with like an injury or something.
Yeah, we were sprinting, and then I had to stop.
This always fascinates me. Male ego. I just don't understand it when it comes to co-parenting. I know I don't have any kids, but I used to work with children. There were a lot of children that didn't have functional co-parent situations. And Future, the rapper, has been promoting a new album called The Wizard, dropped on Friday. And he's done a bunch of interviews, and people love to prod him about Russell Wilson because he's always got a take on Russell and Sierra. Sierra, you got to say it like that
Why?
because that's how she does it in her songs. Sierra,
She says her own name in her songs.
automatic soup. No, someone else does it in the background. I think it's like
gotcha.
one of those hype men. Sierra,
I wish someone would do that for Kamala Harris.
Kamala.
Camilla.
So he basically just said that he's not really a man, that Sierra bosses him around, and he doesn't like the fact that he didn't meet Russell right away. But then Sierra's like, dude, he's a famous athlete. You could meet him anytime you want to. Just fly to the city.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like we live in you're on tour. I'm dating a
You're
football
famous.
player.
He's famous.
He's
Just
like,
go to
you
the
want to
nice
get to meet him?
restaurant.
Look him up on Wikipedia.
Why
All you
would
gotta do
you
is
want to
follow-
meet him anyways?
Well, I mean,
And he was like tweeting pictures of like a football pointing at a gun or a gun pointing at a football.
Who
like,
was?
Future did that.
No, I'm saying, but here's the thing. Russell tweets nothing but like Bible verses and stuff and how
Yeah,
much he loves.
He's a nerd.
Yeah, I mean,
Love
he's
it.
like the most boring quarterback in the NFL. It's not like she was dating Cam Newton where you're like, that guy's got a little bit of a checkered past when
Trying
it
to
comes
think of a more boring quarterback right now.
there isn't one that's not white. All the white ones are boring. The only cool quarterbacks in the league right now are Patrick Mahomes and Cam Newton.
Andrew Luck strikes me as a fairly boring person. Like he would like smoke a corncob pipe and like watch grass grow.
Well, Andrew Luck has got this kind of like good old boy doofusy kind of.
I know.
You know,
Neanderthal thing.
If you told him a dirty joke, he would
Finger paint.
He would.
No,
If you
la,
told
la.
Andrew Luck a dirty joke, he'd be like, "Oh well, jeez, I roll here. Look out." So Future always has a take on Russell Wilson. He didn't like him from the beginning. He just thinks he's a nerd. Basically, I think is what it is. And I think there's a level of jealousy when it comes to the fact that Future has 6 baby mamas, 6 now, and I think it's that. He's not comfortable with the fact that one of his baby mama situations, she upgraded.
Yeah.
Right? She upgraded. Like, he doesn't have that experience very often because the other 5 aren't married to a franchise quarterback who signed a $117 million
And
contract.
the poor kid's
Super
name is
Bowl win.
Future Junior.
Future Junior. I kind of like
Future Junior. You can't name your kid Junior if your name's not actually Future. Like, his parents didn't name him Future, did they?
No. His name is...
they weren't that forward
like,
thinking.
Neashon or something.
Yeah,
it's
not Future. So it's not Future Junior.
But I don't understand, like, where... Like, he said it's a cultural thing, and maybe to a certain extent it is.
What is a cultural thing?
Just that you don't show that much kind of love and affection to another man's child.
If you have 6 kids, you don't show any love and affection to your own children. I mean, you can't. You can't split it up like that. 6 with 6 different women. Who in their right mind would ever take Future seriously when it comes to any sort of parenting issues? I mean, it's like ridiculous. I mean, the fact that he can even have an opinion and take himself seriously is a joke.
I guess. I'm going to approach it from 2 angles.
Stupid, Future. You should be able to see the future. People are calling you an idiot.
My tendency is to agree with what you just said, but to just try to examine it from the other side of the situation. I had a friend who was getting upset because and I guess they weren't married yet, but his baby mama's new boyfriend was a rich dude. And was always taking him to do cool experiences. Like, they went to Disneyland together for the first time, and that's something he always thought that he would get to be able to do for his daughter. He didn't. There was no kind of communication on, hey, we're going to do all these cool experiences that, sorry, you can't afford to take her on or do, which, I mean, I guess is something of a, yo, dude, it's also your fault, too. Like, you can, your situation is what it is. You can't fault your ex for moving on with a more successful guy. I think it comes down to communication, which it sounds like, with Sierra and Future, there is none, other than what there has to be.
Yeah, and, like, it's not like Future doesn't have the means to take the kid and do, like, if he wanted to, he could give that kid the moon. He could do whatever he wants. Instead, he just gave him a stupid name and moved on.
He gave him his own name.
It's a stupid name.
Cool rap name.
Cool rap name, Future Junior.
So I think... As much as I agree with you, I mean, what are you going to take some advice from him? I'm always fascinated because it's like, I get it. There's ego. I get it, man. Listen, I'm sure it sucks that your ex moved on with somebody more,
but
more
do you really,
successful.
Like, where's all the upset tweets about all the other baby mamas moving on with other people? Like, is there other upset tweets, or is it just because he's threatened by Russell Wilson?
It's just because he's
threatened. And if you're threatened by Russell Wilson, then you're actively admitting to being threatened by a nerd.
Well, he's a nerd, man.
I know.
I think
Future's threatened by him.
I honestly think it's because it's an experience he doesn't have very often, where someone upgrades from him. You know what I mean? And Sierra's. Sierra was out of the both of them was the more famous of the two, regardless.
Sierra's like, he downgraded the moment that he stopped being with her. He downgraded himself. Mm-hmm. He took a downgrade. He depreciated. Incredibly. It was like driving a car off the lot.
But also, don't you want your kids to have a loving situation? There's some kids that don't.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'd tweet about it if it was like he was with, like if his dad was like, I don't want to make any bad jokes about football players, but I could. His dad's like Ray Rice.
That's probably, we're good.
This is Nearly Informed with Brad and Brian.
Saved by the imaging.
Woo!
Do you want to do your segment?
Crazy ideas.
Crazy ideas with Patrick.
Yeah, I got a crazy idea.
This is Nearly Informed. I just saw Brad scamper by the window
quickly, just so we wouldn't see him. The day that Brad is that fast, the fact that Brad thinks he's fast enough for us to not see him.
No, he looked. He scampered. Oh. Crazy ideas with Patrick Moote to close out the show today. Thanks for listening. I think today I had a good mixture of Super Bowl silliness and then real topics, man.
Yeah, I'm getting fired up.
Well, no need.
I was getting fired up.
I'm trying
about them kids from Virginia,
Kentucky. Just a real quick follow up on that, Kentucky. It's funny to watch that story unfold before we get into your crazy ideas, because initially it was everybody crushed the kid. These racist kids. Then it was more details. Okay, the lines are a little more blurred. There was definitely some disrespect coming from them, but it wasn't the same level of what we thought it was. It just seems like someone needed to step in. It's kind of now it's like people are backtracking and okay, this school's not. Now I'm just seeing that this school is notoriously awful there's a photo now where they're like a bunch of kids were in blackface at a basketball game. It just now what's gonna happen is that the pendulum
to be right.
The pendulum swung too far one way. Now it's back the other way, and now everyone's like, you liberal snowflakes, you crush these kids, you owe them all an apology.
Except for that time they were in blackface.
And then
that was bad.
But see, now it's swinging back the other way where more people are coming out saying like, hey, I went to school there. One guy was talking about how there were a lot of homophobic stuff going on there, and he was bullied for being gay, and then there's some race stuff, and there's some photos that just look just awful, where there's kids in blackface and screaming at a player who's black from the other team. So now what's going to happen to Covington Catholic School is incident happens, reaction.
Yeah.
Then everyone tries to figure out what the hell's actually going on. Then it's like, oh God, we're over here. Now everyone is digging through the dirty laundry of Covington Catholic School, a school in Kentucky that has never, whether they're awful at times or not, or the kids have been awful, they've never had the full focal point of the internet plowing through their histories, screenshotting things, looking at pictures, so
the level of indignance on that kid's face when he was faced up with that, fairly peaceful old man was a level to which it was like, this kid has been empowered by some people in charge to act this way.
Whether or not like we have the full picture yet, or we're able to even, and I'm willing to say, like, I remember being a teenager. Sometimes things play out not like you thought they were gonna, not that you want them to do it, or whatever, especially in a group. But that level of smirk and smarm on his face when this guy's in his face, it's hard for me to wrap my head around anything other than, damn, man, at the bare minimum, show people that are older than you respect.
Exactly.
Especially from someone from another culture.
He's an adult.
Someone from a...
And you're facing up to him like you guys are about to throw down.
Well, and it's Indigenous Peoples March, too. It's like, yo, this is his space right now.
Yeah.
Like, this is his march. They're marching for Indigenous folks in this country. And it just, no matter what, even if that guy, the native, Nathan Phillips, Native American, was in the wrong, I find that level of that face and that all those kids in that group, just their reactions in that part. If I'm one of their parents and I know my kid is better than that, and I know that they're not who they look like on camera, I'm having a serious conversation with them about thinking for yourself and not disrespecting someone who frankly doesn't deserve it. And no one deserves it just for voicing their opinions.
And the fact that there was adults around who were letting that happen is just it doesn't
sleep at the wheel, man.
It doesn't surprise. Maybe not asleep at the wheel. Maybe antagonizing the situation.
No.
Maybe
the details are out that they were the chaperones were trying to figure out their next move, and were just. Their next move in terms of where are we taking these kids to? Is it time for lunch? We've all been part of those when you're I remember when I was teaching kindergarten.
Just looks like a bunch of boys being boys.
Well, you're not paying attention. And also, you're frantically trying to figure out what in the F you're going to do with these kids, because let's say the thing you thought was going to take 2.5 hours only took 45 minutes. So now we've got an hour and a half with 80 teenagers.
The fact that I thought that group of kids, because it was a pro-life thing, I figured they were from D.C. The fact that you fly kids all the way across the country.
That's what, schools do that. It's a private school.
I'm saying, most schools can't find the money to pay for books and do regular. Why is that the excursion you want to take these kids on?
Well, I just don't. It just doesn't. When you are a private school, though, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
I understand they can do whatever they want. I'm just saying it seems like a weird thing.
Well, listen, our public schools did that too, but you just had to qualify for the trip and raise money, and we just apparently weren't able to do that because you and I weren't, really anxious to go to D.C. for a lobbying weekend.
No.
All right, crazy ideas with Pat. Do we have any music for this? Let's just see what I got here. This sounds like crazy ideas.
This sounds like
all right, how about this?
Failing ideas. Sure.
All right, crazy ideas with
Crazy
Patrick.
idea corner.
Crazy idea corner.
So here's my crazy idea. I've been really anxious. I've been thinking a lot. I'm getting close to the end of chemo. New chapter in my life. What do I really want to do with myself? I've been literally considering going back to school.
Whoa.
I know, mind blown.
Back to school, where?
Yeah. UCLA probably. I can transfer to UCLA pretty easily because I went to Santa Monica Community College and got my 2-year degree in a quick 7 years.
What are you going to get a degree in?
So, journalism, I think. Because we have all these radio contacts, so that makes sense. Between sports and between the stuff that you're doing. Also, I'm constantly wrapped up doing these documentaries, so need to get better at researching. So I'm actually currently writing an op-ed that I'm going to submit to the LA Times about my colonoscopy being $67,000.
Oh,
so today,
the insurance situation, the overbilling?
Yeah, so I called the insurance, or I called the facility that did the $67,000 colonoscopy and kind of finally talked to their billing person and kind of got to the bottom of what was going on. Yeah. And it's totally a sham. Like, she tried to explain it, but there was no explanation, really.
I don't know a lot about why, but what I would say, the thing that makes the most sense to me is that they charge $67,000 because you have insurance, and they're just going to bill that, and they're going to see what they can get, what gets approved, what doesn't get approved, and but there's no way that a procedure that took 3 hours.
No, not even 3 hours. Not even maybe 3 hours.
Hour?
Sorry, the total procedure is like 30 minutes. Mine was a little bit longer because there was more going on in my colon than most colons.
There's a lot of cutting and
it was a
scraping.
Fascinating colon.
A lot of chiseling.
But here's what's crazy about it. What I wanted to know is, and basically what the op-ed is about, is why $67,000? How did you arrive at that number? Here's what they said. They charge $16,800 for the colonoscopy regularly, which is still about 4 or 5 times more than they should typically charge for it. So then, on top of that, because I had more stuff, I had 9 polyps they had to remove, they had to do a little tattoo, where the thing was, they did these 3 other procedures also. She was like, that's why it's more expensive. To which I was like, and each one happened to cost $16,800.
Yeah, that seems like a pretty flat rate.
I mean, give me a break.
Arbitrary
Give me a break.
number.
And even when I said that, she was like, yeah.
Well.
And I was like, is it typical that they come out to $67,000? I mean, is that fairly regular for this? And she was like, yeah, it is. $16,000 usually it's much higher than $16,000. So basically, I don't know what I want to do with myself necessarily, but if I was going to go to school, it wouldn't be for anything that I already currently do, which would be acting or scrrently.
Right.
I feel like I've already
get a new skill.
Get a new skill.
Well, it's a complementary skill too, because now you can actually use it for your documentary stuff, and it'll make your research a little more legit.
Yeah, and I need to go back to school anyway to learn how to write.
Why? Because we went to public school and we didn't learn very well?
Dude, I never diagrammed a sentence because we were too busy learning cursive.
Which is the biggest waste of time ever. When was the last time you wrote cursive?
I can't even read cursive.
This is Nearly Informed. If you like this show, find it on the radio.com app and subscribe.
Don't miss the anniversary sale at Safeway going on now. Great low prices on the things your whole family will love. Look for qualifying tags in store to soak up all the savings at Safeway. These savings are definitely worth celebrating, so head in store and shop the anniversary sale today.
Hear that? That's the sweet sound of Minute Maid slushies at McDonald's, turning up your summer with every sip, slurp, and ah.
Get a small sweet peach, blue raspberry, or fruit punch slushie for just $2. Or get any size soft drink for $1. Price and participation may vary. Limited time only. Cannot be combined with combo meal.